Hello, HumeFog students. Today I'm going to show you where you can find some information about bills, legislation. Important that you know about that, and I'm excited because you'll be using the Library of Congress website. So I'm going to take you through how you can find out bills. So first of all, you may be surprised. I'm actually going to start with Google. And so let's say I'm doing abortion rights. I might type in abortion legislation and Congress. And I'm just trying to get some idea here. It's kind of coming up with some idea of some things that have come up. And I might use these to lead me to the to some ideas of what's going on. Sometimes a specific HR, so I might type that into HR means House of Representatives. So if I type in HR, then I'm going to get bills that started in the House of Representatives. So I'm seeing here as I added HR that I'm actually getting a lot of hits on this HR3. And then maybe I even try S period, and that will give you ones that might start in the Senate. So I see Senate 356, but that's in the current one. So I saw that HR one. I'm going to kind of keep that in mind. Now over in the LibGuide, this is where we bring up Open Congress, and there's a link for Open Congress. And the first thing I want to do on Open Congress is I want to go right back here, and I'm really just looking for things that have happened over the last few years. So notice I click off of that. So let's say again I'm doing abortion. So first of all I'm going to look about the last year, and I want to get an idea of what sort of bills are up there. We got a lot of bills that have been introduced like recently in the last since Congress has reconvened. So that's kind of interesting. So I can say, over the past, there's already been 14 bills introduced about abortion, and that's just in literally a couple months. But I want to go back here, and I want to try to go back a little bit further, because I want to go back to about the 110th Congress. So I am going to click all the way down here. I want to get an idea of how heated this topic is, and you probably already have an idea. I mean, if there are 13 bills that have been introduced in a month or 2 months about a topic, it's a pretty big topic, okay? But I'm going to keep this up here, and I'm going to click search again. All right, and you notice here, so now I am to 74, and you notice here that they are listed in order of relevance. Now that's important because I need to look down here. Was it passed or was it just introduced? So now that makes a difference, because for this project we want to see bills that have actually been passed. And sometimes you can't find them at the congressional, the national Congress level. Sometimes we have to look at the state level to see that. But that's important because we want to see the whole process as something goes through. So, well, look here. One of these that came up was HR3. So I'm going to click on this. And there's a lot of things about Open Congress I really like. So it tells you when it was introduced and when it passed, tells you who the sponsors are, the committees it went forward. It tells you how many votes were for and how many votes were against. And this one was passed and how many people abstained. So let's look at, definitely the actions and votes. And we can kind of see here the different actions it went through, like when it was referred to a committee, and you got to go back to the year this was, when it was introduced, when it went to hearings, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's kind of cool, and you can see votes there on, this goes back to the votes, whether it's a roll call, sometimes in a couple of, on a certain amendment or a motion. Okay, so that's really cool. So we can get a lot of information about HR3 from Open Congress, and just has a nice graph. It's just easy to find. Yeah, so like I said, that's important. So I got to keep this information in mind because I still need to find out more information about it. And that's where I'm going to go back to the LibGuide, and I'm going to click on Thomas. Now, in Thomas, this is the actual Library of Congress website, and we're going to need to use the advanced search. Now, because of that, we're going to need to keep in mind when our lovely HR3 occurred. And it happens that it's not, remember, we're currently in the 113th Congress, so we need to go back one Congress. One Congress lasts for 2 years. So that's how I know that. So I'm going to go back, and I'm going to use this in Thomas. So on the advanced search is where I'm going to be. And you notice here it says select Congress, so I need to go back to the 112th Congress, because if I type it into 113th Congress, it will not be the same bill. Okay, so I need to click this to bill number, and I'm looking for HR3. Okay, and then I type that in, and then it brings up HR3. Okay, and this is it gives you the title, and and it gives you, so a lot of this information is it's kind of more detailed, and this is important. We need to use this because this is where we're going to get the whole report of the of what happened. Okay, so when I click on that, I see here a very large table of contents. Things I'm looking for is I'm looking for things like committee votes, hearings, so that's the sort of stuff I'm looking at. So I can kind of click on here and I say, okay, well, what sort of hearings were held? And it's going to talk about what sort of considerations were held. And that's important, and you're going to be able to have to be able to talk about those. We want you to dig deep into these bills, not just like copy and paste stuff, but we want you to really see what goes on in this really long process of getting having a bill become law, because there are a gazillion bills proposed every year, but not that many of them actually become law. And we want you to see kind of what all goes through. It goes through all these committees and subcommittees, and there's all these discussions and stuff. So anyway, we want you to see that. So that was the hearings, and you can look at the committee votes too, and kind of see where people are kind of voting here. And what they're voting for or against. And we don't need everything, but we need to know that you've read it and you've done, and you have an overview. What sort of things are they considering? Anyway, you're going to notice those things kind of run together. And of course, there's they have to give a budget office, like how much it's going to cost, all that sort of stuff. So I think this stuff is going to be helpful to you. You have to look at it, but that's the reason why we want you to do that. Now, what if you have a issue? Sometimes you have to go broad. So let's say you're dealing something with that's really specific to Thailand. Maybe I look at foreign policy in general. Okay. So sometimes you have to go broad, sometimes you have to go towards related stuff. But sometimes what we have to do is there will literally be no bills that have been passed in the 5 years in Congress about your subject. So what you do then is that's when you look at, what are some of these, what's sort of these state legislation? So what's sort of this what's some state, abortion laws? And so I might look at some of these, documents some of these laws that have come in, read a few articles to just kind of get a view. You may already know what the view has been. Like, for example, in abortion, what has Tennessee proposed? So I might find that out. So, and then once you have that, then you're going to be looking at that state's house or their legislators and how they vote. So usually what I do is I find out the name. Let's see. I'm going to try to find out a number of a bill. So I'm gonna look at this bill, for example. So I need to see if I can find out the number of it. So I'm going to scroll this down, and I don't remember. Okay, I'm going to click on Bill 107. Oh, that's so nice. Okay. So this is House Bill 3808. Then I'm going to go back here, and I want to Tennessee legislature, and I'm going to put that in there. See if I can get to the actual, see if I can, well, there's Vote Smart, which I like. That may be a good one to to do, but I'm going to try to actually get to the actual General Assembly bill. So I might try to do that. And sometimes you have to, well, so I'm going to find legislation, right? So now I'm there. Let's see if I can, or I might even type in abortion. Oh, well, oops. Huh, that's embarrassing. Did you see that? All right. Okay, I'm going to do advanced search. Why is this not working for me? Maybe I should just type in, I'll just type in abortion. All right. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I remember that one. Okay. So, I see the problem here. Legislation. Archives. This is so embarrassing. Okay. So basically what I did wrong there was I didn't go to the archives. Oh, that's just pretty bad. Okay. So, I would do these bills and resolution so House Bill 3808. So I would go down here to I could search it like that, but I could. So then here's the bill summary. Votes. So don't be like Mrs. Smithfield. That was really embarrassing. Don't forget, you'll probably have to go in the archives because, all these legislators just started new sessions, usually in January. And so otherwise, you're just going to get information from the current session and not the old ones. So once I've done that, then I can figure out, what were the bill. I can even watch video clips in a lot of cases. So, and so I can see and this one actually has been signed by the governor. So this one actually is law, and I can look at the votes on it. I can see what sort of amendments have happened. I can even see video clips. Now that's where I'm going to actually get, these are the different committees it's been under, and you can actually watch the video of those, so to kind of get an idea there of what they're talking about. So obviously there's there's going to be some states that have more information than others, but your goal is to find 3. We want you to find 3 good bills, hopefully that have lots of discussion. They may be national bills, but They may not be. They may be state bills, and they may be broader than you wish, especially if you have a really new idea, really new policy that really has not existed before. Don't be afraid to call me. I know you're not. And see if I can help you. All right. Do make sure you follow these things, and make sure that you carefully paraphrase when you do directly quote. Put it in quotation marks. Otherwise, that's plagiarism, and that's bad. Don't be bad. All right. Talk to you later.